So this is Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6, the upcoming foldable from Samsung. And it looks totally different, totally new and fresh. It is so damn good looking. But is it really that different from the Galaxy Z Fold 5 or the Z Fold 4? But before everything, you know that there is a Galaxy Z Fold 6 Ultra coming, which is where we will see the most amount of changes we wanted from a Samsung's foldable. But that's coming next year. So right now, we should wait for the 10th of July's Unpacked event for the Galaxy Z Fold 6. Now, in terms of the body and dimensions, the frame will be titanium built just like the Galaxy S24 Ultra, and it will have a very boxier aesthetics. Also, I can say like a Note flagship design. But that's not the only thing. If you look at the dimensions, then it seems that this is 6.1mm thin. Also, it is about 1.4mm shorter and 2.6mm wider than the Galaxy Z Fold 5. But there is also a rumor saying that the Galaxy Z Fold 6 will be actually 5.6mm thick when open, and when closed it's gonna be 12.1mm, which makes it even more thinner when closed than the Galaxy Z Fold 5, which seems true because 6.1mm is not something that is an upgrade. We have a first live look at the phone's back, and it looks like this. The camera housing might not change as much, but the camera rings have changed quite a bit. Maybe just to differentiate it from the Galaxy Z Fold 5. So what is the display specs look like? The outer screen is expected to grow from 6.2 inches to 6.4 inches, much bigger, and over 2600 nits of peak brightness. This is actually really amazing. Plus, it will have 120Hz adaptive refresh rate and 22:9 aspect ratio display, which is much better than 23.1:9 aspect ratio display of the Galaxy Z Fold 5, which means it will be much more wider. How much? Well, the cover screen has increased in width from 57.4mm to 60.2mm, which does make it a different device than it was, but not drastically though. Because if you look at this comparison photos, it is pretty much visible. It shows that it has much thinner bezels and much more symmetrical bezels than the Galaxy Z Fold 5, at least on the cover screen I'm talking about. The hole punch is also smaller. Not by that much, but it's still smaller. But it also shows the sharper corners coming with this device, which might be my most favorite thing on this phone. But in the inside though, it's still a 7.6-inch AMOLED panel, same 120Hz, same everything. Only thing we are hearing is that we'll use much thicker ultra-thin glass, going from 30 micrometers to 50 micrometers in terms of thickness to make the crease much less pronounced apparently. Now other than that, the chipset is also getting a big differences here. Well, it's still this Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy chipset just like the Galaxy S24 series, but all of the models will be Snapdragon only. That's the big thing. Because the international variant of the Galaxy Z Fold 6 has shown up in the Geekbench benchmark, and it's rocking the same hardware configuration as the US variant. Now, what does the core cluster look like? It looks like this. And this is also a 4nm chipset made by TSMC. So efficiency-wise, it's pretty much great. Now, we can also see the Geekbench result, which isn't at all good. But this is the prototype device at this point, so just don't look at the numbers. There is going to be 12GB of RAM as standard on the Galaxy Z Fold 6. Now, in terms of the memory configuration, it's still going to have 256GB as the base model, then there are going to be 512GB and a 1TB configuration, both with 12 and 16GB of RAM configurations. Now, in terms of rear cameras though, there is a confusion. Even though the 12MP ultra-wide-angle camera, the 10MP 3x telephoto camera, or the 10MP selfie camera on the cover screen, or the 4MP under-display camera are not changing at all, but the main camera has a possibility of getting it upgraded to 200MP. But it might not even happen because of the Galaxy Z Fold 6 Ultra, which is where Samsung gonna push the boundaries in terms of what they can do with a foldable device. This might still come with a 50MP camera, just like the Fold 5. So camera-wise, you're not seeing a change. And the same thing can be said about the video capturing experience. Still gonna be 8K 30fps at the max, 4K 60 and 30, and then you know the rest. The battery is seeing slight upgrade, 4600 mAh, as much as we are hearing, with the same charging capabilities. In terms of colors though, we are hearing that it will land in dark blue, light pink, and silver. These are going to be the basic options, but they're going to be exclusive color shades for the Samsung.com buyers. So that's the thing. Anyway, that's probably everything we know so far about the Galaxy Z Fold 6. In case I get to know anything more, I will let you guys know. And yes, if you want, you can get some crazy cool wallpapers up on my website, a link down below. Until the next one, bye and take care.